questions I'd like to ask you. First, I'd like to ask for Nathan. Our family shares something the same. As my dad is the brother's coach too. My brother loves having his dad as the coach. I think you do too. But if we reverse the roles and you were the coach for the day, what training would you make him do?
Oh, well, after the training that he put me through during the pre-season, I think I'd have to get some of the big boys just to run straight at him and he'd have to try tackle. That's what I'd be doing. That's what he makes me do, so.
Would you do that for me?
Mark, I reckon you'd smash him, mate. I reckon you'd be sweet. I don't know about either.
Well, yeah, I reckon I could probably do one. That'd probably be about it. I reckon.
Yeah.
You'd have to scrape me off the ground after that. Yeah. Nice question, Santa.
Nathan, I want to know if you have the same mindset. So, Nathan, summer or winter?
Summer for me.
Beach or pool?
Beach.
Chocolate or lollies?
Lollies, definitely.
Shoes or thongs?
Sorry, what was that one?
Shoes or thongs?
Shoes.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Meat or fish?
Meat.
Dog or cat?
Dog. Who knows, biting my toes.
Yeah.
So, now you, Ivan. Summer or winter?
Summer.
Beach or pool?
Beach.
Chocolate or lollies?
Lollies.
Shoes or thongs?
Not as much as Nathan, though.
Shoes or thongs?
Oh, was that one, sir? Oh, thongs. Thongs, definitely. Yeah.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Meat or fish?
Both. Fish.
Sad face.
Fish.
Dog or cat?
Oh, geez, I've got 2 cats and 1 dog, but I have to say dog. I go dog first.
You've got a good mindset.
Thank you.
Both of you. Nathan, if you were a superhero for the day, what superhero would you be?
Oh, that's a hard one. I think I would be Superman. He's pretty cool. He can do most things. He can fly in that as well.
And Ivan, what would you be?
Oh, I think I'd be Aquaman. Yeah, I'd like to be able to swim underwater and do stuff and fight sharks and that. That'd be fun.
Nathan, if you had a superpower for the day, what would it be?
I've thought about this a fair bit. I think I'd like to read people's minds.
And what about you, Ivan?
Yeah, X-ray vision probably. I don't know why.
Anything else?
Is my mindset still okay?
Question to you, Nathan. Growing up, have you do you know anyone, or have you come across anyone in your career that has a disability, or in not just rugby league, but in general that does it in proper sport?
It's actually funny you say that. One of my good mates, he was actually my roommate for a while. He has cerebral palsy as well, and he's actually a soccer player. He's been playing for the Pararoos and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
Just see you say that, because I didn't know too much about it, but just talking to him, like, And he said they've got a pretty good setup now with how they do things, like they go to training camps, stuff like that, stay in regular touch, and I think that's been awesome for him. He loves it, so it's cool that you guys are doing
what's
this.
his name, Nathan? So what's his name? Because I used to play in that. Who?
Connor Marsh.
Yeah, no, it was before my time. I started the Paralympic that team 98.
Oh, really?
So I played in the Paralympic Games in 2000 as vice captain
cool.
for that particular team.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so he loves it. So it's been really cool for him. I think it's he didn't really play footy or anything growing up. He was always into soccer, but now he's kind of fallen into that. So it's been good.
Oh, cool.
And as I said, he's taught me a lot about it too, just how inclusive and that. So it's good that you guys are doing it for footy too. I'm sure there's heaps of people out there in the same position.
Same question goes to you, Ivan. In your playing career and coaching career, have you sort of come across anyone with a disability that you've noticed that they actually playing or training or doing any type of sports with a disability?
Yeah, well, as I was racking my brain, one thing I do remember, we used to train, when I played with the Roosters back in the mid-90s, and we used to train at a place called ES Marks, which was an athletics track out in the eastern suburbs. And so there was always athletes, coming and training while we were training, on the field. They were sort of, and there was always a group of guys, disabled, sprinters. So guys with, it was the first time I'd ever seen those artificial running legs. The ones that sort of it was incredible. So there's a whole group of guys used to turn up there pretty much every week and train as hard as anyone else, and they're bloody fast too. So, yeah, super impressive. And we used to go over and talk to those guys a bit. So that's what's that? It's 25 years ago. Yeah. So I can only imagine the technology and that kind of stuff, where that's gone to. Yeah.
And that's something what we want to use these guys, people like Marco, Joel, George, with a disability, regardless of what disability you have, you can still be part of a team, be inclusive in any team. From my experience, having Marco with a disability, we were told from day one that he wasn't going to walk or talk or nothing like that in his life. And, and it was only probably when he turned 4 or 5, he started sort of doing his first steps. Everything that he does every day, it's an achievement for us. It's gold. So, if we can use Marco as an example, Joel, George, any other person with a disability, to inspire people like, players like Nathan, coaches like yourself, Ivan. That's what we want to achieve, and send that message across to everyone. Not just NRL, but in other sports. So that's what we want to sort of have you guys on board and have a chat with you guys to see, to sort of show you guys that these 3 guys here, Marco, Joel, and George. George with his career, I've got a list of what he's done, in his life, and to me, it's just unbelievable. I can sit here and talk about him and what he's achieved. Married with 3 kids, and what he's done in his life, set up so many associations in the past 20 years. It's amazing. It is just something that we want to. Hopefully that, as I said, players and coaches can actually look up to him and be inspired by these guys. Talk much about what we do. I'm happy to have him on board today because he loves the Panthers, and I can just see that. Some jersey there, Joel. Welcome. I can see you got in the background the Panthers jersey. From what year is that?
Yeah.
Looks like a 97 Super League one, I think.
Oh, 97, that's one.
There you go.
Yeah, and Clark was, I think, 2003, after a game.
Joel, do you want to tell Nathan or Ivan a bit about yourself and what your rugby league means to you?
So I started playing rugby league with these guys maybe 2012. Before that, I'd only done bowling, karate. No sort of contact or team sports really. So when I met George through Dad, I just thought, well, I'll give this a shot, see how we go. Because I'd been a fan of league. I got into it a lot in 2003, just coincidental timing. So yeah, no, I've been playing since then, and it's helped physically with my condition quite a bit, which has been great.
Can I ask Joel what your condition is? Sorry, mate.
Oh yeah, I've got hydrocephalus, so fluid on the brain.
Okay. Hey, nice to meet you, by the way.
Oh, thank you. You too.
Yeah, nice to meet you, mate. Good to have cancer supporter in the conversation.
Absolutely.
Good man.
So, do you have any questions that you can ask Nathan as a player? Perhaps maybe his normal routine before a game or after a game. Is there something you want to ask? Or have you got something else to ask?
Well, that sort of leads into what I was going to ask. Actually, was sort of especially this year being the off season was sort of different this year. How do you keep fit and ready during the off season, like especially when you can't work with teams like during the break?
It was a bit obviously a bit different this year with the COVID break. So I was like having sort of 2 off seasons, but usually at the end of each year, I usually like to have some time off and just try to relax and get the body right and stuff like that. Usually pretty banged up at the end of the year, so try to relax and get away. But in the COVID break, it was a bit different because we weren't allowed to train with each other. It's pretty hard to train by yourself most of the time, but we were lucky as well. Like we got given a program from Penrith, and we just kind of had to follow that. Got given weights and stuff like that, and then I live with Ty and May as well, so we got to train together. We'd usually do gym in the morning, then go down the field and just do some running and try to stay as fit as we could. But it was kind of weird because we didn't know when we'd be able to be back playing and stuff like that. So motivation was hard to come by some days, but then once we got the date, they would be back. We're pretty lucky to come back, and we were relatively fit.
Yeah, because I found that, especially with our season now that it's cut off, it's sort of been weird, sort of training, but not allowed to meet up in groups. It's sort of set us back where, we're sort of getting stronger, but in terms of fitness, we're sort of falling behind a bit.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's what makes it hard. I think, it's definitely hard to try and train by yourself and stuff like that. But we were lucky. Like I thought it was a pretty good idea. We had a few like WhatsApp groups and that, just of all the players, and we're all just sending stuff in that we were doing. And that was a good way to get motivation for each other, I think. So it was pretty cool.
So just if I can jump in on that one too, Joel. So it's amazing that that WhatsApp group that Nat was talking about. I think that really helped because it was sort of you just jump on. The boys would jump on the on the group, and they'd see someone doing something or send a video, and someone's pumped up and enjoying their training. I think it just gave everyone a little bit of a kick along. So then people were trying to trump each other, like these guys going out and like when it was still dark and running the streets and videoing themselves and stuff like that. So that was kind of pretty cool too. So all the players I've coached over the years, most of the good ones always seem to be able to train to some level on their own, whether it's just whether they like it or they're so ambitious and they're so driven that they'll go out and do that. But it doesn't have to be super specific, but just as long as you keep moving and you're trying to eat well and whatever, look after yourself. You don't have to be worried about, I'm not doing football specific type training. As long as you're getting out doing something, it's going to help you in the long run.
Yeah, I think what really helped because I saw Warrington PDRL were doing similar. They had sort of one exercise per letter of the alphabet and stuff. Yeah. And Adam Hills was going, I'm spelling South Sydney Rabbitohs. So I was like, okay, just go Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs then and make it a bit longer. And you're sort of, when you're topping each other, it sort of keeps you moving more.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, it's always good with a bit of friendly competition, I reckon.
I can see you got a friend there, Nathan.
Yeah, he's absolutely fantastic.
Ours is a bit quiet today, so
He's gone wild at the moment. Trying to bite me and everything. I don't think he likes him being on the phone.
ours after 30 is game over. That's it. Sleep time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Before I even had my own son with a disability, George was actually one that impacted me with a disability. He didn't know me. I was in year 7, he was probably in year 11. But I remember vividly that there was a guy called George that kept getting sports awards. He was always up on stage getting sports awards. And I remember thinking, wow, good on him. He's got cerebral palsy and he keeps collecting those awards. And that's inspirational. I remember he was on the back of my mind as I grew up and as I became a lady and a woman. And then when I guess the world gave me a George of my own in Marco, and I started to see that Marco was using a soccer ball and football as a way of communicating, I realised really quickly that I did have a George, and I knew exactly which path to throw Marco down with sports. And that was a way of me and Marco communicating before he even spoke. And so George was at the back of my mind, and he inspired me without even knowing. So I've got a lot to thank George for. And when I met up with him years later, he didn't even know who I was. And he asked me if I would allow my son to play football. And I remember saying, no son of mine is playing football. And and he was like, no, listen to me. He'll wear red shorts so that he won't get tackled. And so he can still play the game that he loves. And I remember thinking, wow, that finishes the puzzle of what I needed. Marco wanted to play football. However, I wanted him to do all the non-contact sports. I tried golf, I tried tennis, but that was not what Marco wanted. And here's George giving me that little win. Wow, Marco is Marco and safe and playing the game that he loves, and he's happy. So that's the story that we want to bring out to everyone, that they should be able to play the game that they love and not have choices put on them. Like, I wanted to choose for him to play golf because I thought it was safer, but he wouldn't be happy doing that. So that's what we want to bring to. We've got so many people in schools that want to play rugby league. They watch Nathan on TV. They watch their own heroes, their own teams, and they want to do that. So we want to make sure that society understands that they can do that. So yeah.
Yeah, you know what? It's I'm pretty sure my mum didn't want me playing rugby league either. So I think there's plenty other that's the same story. Funnily enough, I guess we're always trying to make it, disabled bodies and disabled lives, I suppose, as similar as able-bodied lives as we can. But the reality is, rugby league is one of those games where a lot of parents don't necessarily, or they're a bit scared about their kids playing it in any form. So I guess we've got this a parallel kind of issue there. We're trying to make the game safer, and so I think all rugby league people, to some extent, would be able to understand where you're coming from on that stage. Tell me, was George, was he good looking when he was in year 11? You're in year 7.
A lot now. Too much stress, too much kids. Just answering leading on to what you said, Ivan. Danny, Des has his brother, Danny. Des, his family are all teachers. There's Danny, Terence, and Des, of course, they were all teachers before, of course, Des taking up rugby league and became professional and becoming a coach. And his brother, rest in peace, now died of cancer. He was the fittest guy I ever known. He's never smoked, never drank, always very a peaceful guy. very humble guy, and he unfortunately died of cancer. And someone like Danny gave me a chance to be just the water boy of the football team for the school football team. Way back then was a Commonwealth Bank Cup back in the 90s, 80s.
Yeah.
And I suppose I want to pass my message on to other people that you just open the door just for opportunities to happen. And the guys like Mark and Joel, who now can play rugby league, I suppose during COVID-19, the most I missed, I love rugby league, I love playing it, but the most of all, I miss the friendships, I miss hanging with the boys and having a beer and having a laugh. That's what I miss the most. We're competitive on the field, as you guys will gather, like playing with other guys that you're friends with outside the playing footy field, but that's the hardest thing mentally, not seeing these guys, because most of the guys, some of the guys have depression issues, they're lonely, they haven't got the support like with a wife or children, and that's why I most care about those guys, to make sure their mental health is looked after. So I was given a chance, and I took my chance. I used my disability to get ahead in life. I've worked in America, England, Russia. I lived in Moscow for 3 years of my life. So I met 3 prime ministers for the Paralympic Games. Got my own stamp, organised 3 associations in my life, that being CP, Cerebral Palsy Football in Australia. It's now played nationally all over Australia, and they give the George Tonner Award to the best player for the final. Then I established the Malta Knights. I'm Maltese by background, so I established the Malta Knights. Now play rugby league in Malta. I was the first founder / chairman, and then I established a physical disability rugby league, which I'm proud about, because it gives guys like Joel and Marco great opportunities to play rugby league. And now with me and Marco Senior, we established the Heroes Ability. I want to give back what I've learned. I want to be a mentor to disabled people.
That's awesome, mate.
So Ivan, you played at the highest level for 34 clubs. Who was your best coach that coached you or mentor that taught you about life and rugby league?
My best coach in terms of rugby league was Phil Gould. He taught me the most easily. About life, it was probably more like my dad when he coached me when I played when I was younger. So I think he probably, I still refer to stuff that he taught me when I was a kid, really. So, yeah.
And Nathan, you're starting your career. I was lucky enough to be with an Australian in soccer, football, and rugby league. You're starting your career. I know you've represented New South Wales last year, State of Origin. What do you hope to achieve on and off the field?
Oh, mate, I'd like to achieve half as much as what you have, to be honest. But honestly, I'd love to play for Australia. That's probably the main goal in footy. But I think the number one thing for me would be winning the comp as well. I think that's probably the top of my list. Obviously, Australia would be lovely. Playing for New South Wales was super cool. But I think winning the comp, especially with Dad as coach, that'd be something pretty cool. And off the field, I haven't thought too much about after footy, but I just want to try. I'm pretty lucky. I have a really good family. I want to try find my own family, have a family of my own one day, and just have real good mates from footy and stuff like that. I've been pretty lucky with the teams I've been brought up in. Made heaps of mates and playing with a lot of them now in first grade, so it's pretty cool. Pretty lucky.
For both of you, what's your career highlight?
I'll go
first. As a player, my career highlight was making my NRL debut. I say that because you just remember that more than anything else. You remember so many little things, and I guess I was 21 at the time, so I suppose when you think about it, you spend your whole life up to that point dreaming of doing something. So when you actually get that chance to do it, it's pretty amazing. And from a from a coaching point of view, I haven't had it yet. I'm still waiting for it.
Yeah, I think mine would probably be my 2 debuts for Penrith and then for New South Wales as well. It's pretty hard to split them, but as Dad said, debuts, something you never forget. And I remember the week of both debuts, like I was just so nervous leading up to the game, but then once you get out there, it's like, yeah, it feels surreal. It felt like a dream for me for the next couple of weeks after that. I just had to keep pinching myself that I was that lucky to be able to do it. So they're my highlights.
That's great.
Just wanted to thank Nathan for that video for the Commonwealth Championship.
No worries, mate.
Early 2018. Ended up playing for Australia at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
forgot to mention. Part of this organisation, Sean Spence, which your dad probably knows him well. He's involved in this from day one. He's been our sort of mentor, helping us through this. And he was the actually Australian coach back then, and he organised the video message to all the players from their idol. And obviously Nathan was Joel's message. So good to mention that, Joel. Thanks for that. It's been
That's cool.
Yeah. Look, I just want to thanks for both of you for being part of this today. It sort of makes it means a lot to not just to me, but to Marco and George and especially Joel to have both of you guys. I want to wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season. Nathan, like you said, playing for New South Wales. I hope you play for New South Wales and Australia, and and the same thing as Ivan. Good luck. And Martha, you got anything to say?
The relation to your game.
Oh, it's easy. Congratulations.
Thanks, Marco.
On both of you being obviously on the top of the ladder.
Thanks, Marco.
How do you think the Tigers are going, Marco?
Very
Playing
good.
all right, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're going pretty good.
Very good.
I think they're going pretty good too.
Yeah.
And we got
I
George.
reckon they've been one of our hardest games, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
We all love our clubs, South and Tigers, but we the good thing about rugby league is that when you do have a connection with someone, you wish the best for them, So regardless of whichever player it is, we just want the best for everyone. I know that not everyone can win, but may the best team win at the end of the year. So that's all it is. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and I appreciate your time for being part of this today.
Our pleasure. Thank you for having us. Love to meet you, Joel, and
Thank you.
George as well. Thanks for the questions, Sienna. They were fantastic. And just from behalf of Nathan and myself, I just want to know what we can do from here, Marco. That's
look,
because we'd be whatever we can do. We'll be all over. So
look, what we can do, obviously, with so many restrictions now, there's nothing no one can do. We're hoping, like I said, we're starting the schools program. If everything goes well, at the end of sort of mid-October, beginning of November. So fingers crossed that if by then this virus has gone away, we can get together and do a clinic together, and we can I'm sure we can sort of chat.
don't hesitate to ask at any time.
Thank you very much once again, guys. Much appreciated.
Okay. Great to see you again, Marco.
Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Thanks, boys. Thanks, Nathan. Good luck. Thanks for having us for the season.
Thanks for that, guys.
Hey, George.
Thank you.
Nice to know you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.